So much of this past year, I've been having more stress and anxiety than I've ever felt in my life. The constant grinding and hustling in the past in order to be able to sustain the financial needs have been a roller coaster ride. But I also realize that most of our problems get resolved on their own. At the same time, it feels liberating to be able to let go of attachments on money and material possessions. The worst thing we can do to ourselves is to keep on pushing and pulling everything around us with the hopes of trying to control our situations and circumstances. We can never really control what happens to us. We can only control how we respond to what happens to us. And what better way to respond than to let things happen and go with the flow? When we had that super typhoon back in 2021, people didn't have a choice, especially those who got affected. Some had to stay indoors while the others had to find shelter. If people would have gone walking across the street during that time, there's a 90% chance that they could get hit by flying debris or metal roof sheets because the wind was so strong back then. That typhoon is a great example of letting nature take its course. Once you act in opposition to nature, once you respond in opposition to God or the universe or source energy or whatever you want to call that, the greater power, Once you act in opposition to that, you're basically like Sisyphus. In Greek mythology, there is this man named Sisyphus, and he was punished for cheating death. And his punishment was to roll a huge piece of boulder all the way from the bottom of the hill to the top. And whenever he reaches the top, the rock would just start rolling all the way down again, only for him to begin where he started. So when you respond in opposition to nature, it's like you're exerting resistance. Take, for example, a waterfall. It's like you're swimming all the way up to a waterfall, and you can keep on doing that. You can try and try, but you're never gonna go anywhere. Whereas if you just let it go and go with the flow, you'll realize that the only thing you need to do is let the current take you, and you'll notice that it's actually so much easier. In China, this is before the Qin dynasty, there is this concept called Wu Wei. And Wu Wei, it means doing nothing, but others also refer to it as actionless action or effortless action. And I think effortless action is more of an accurate depiction for this, because it's not like you're not doing anything, right? You're still doing something, but you're only doing it when the opportunity or the inspiration presents itself. The spiritual teacher and author Esther Hicks, she referred to this as inspired action. Sometimes we're too attached to the outcome of a situation that we really try as hard as we can to influence that, because we wanted to achieve a specific goal. It's like going on a first date and you realize that you like that person so much, so we try so hard to gain their trust, but eventually you'll just come across as desperate or too much, and you'll end up getting rejected at some point.
Overboard fell a sailor. No one saw but the waves. But they'll never tell her, drifting away. Overboard fell a sailor. No one heard.
Most people embrace rigidity, resistance, speed, and stiffness, and we hardly pay attention to softness, when in reality, softness is strength, just like a bamboo that bends with the wind, and by bending, survives. Nature reminds us that we live life in a continuous flow, just as a river that inevitably goes toward the sea. There is no resistance, no unwillingness, because water is formless, shapeless, and by doing so, it can easily adapt to change. There is this famous martial artist that once said, be like water, my friend. Thank you for watching.
October, it seems so far out of reach. I'm not broken, but who else could I be in a time like this? I'm lost out at sea, but who else could I be?